Like I talked about this drive belt slipping, and you might be able to make it out there that this is at an awful angle. This pinion here, it's getting pulled towards this big drive belt by this, well, almost this rubber belt, which is a bit, well, probably a tiny bit stretchy. Can you see that? And I've been mucking about trying to get it as tight as I can, but what I think is causing this, mainly causing this, is the fact that, I don't know if you can see them, let me turn this. I put one of these vibration damper things which has a rubber sort of mount in it. Sorry about the lighting here. Can you see that? That's a anti-vibration damping thing. It's not really needed actually on this extruder, I don't think. Because it's rubber, even though if it's hard rubber, it is bending and pulling it over a bit. This plastic here is also bending under the strain, but when I do my other print, my other design I should say, it's going to have another plastic plate down this side that will strengthen it, and the base here will be thickened a bit as well to give it more strength. See, that's crooked on there because I am. So I'm going to take this rubber anti-vibration damping thing off. I'll show you that when I get it off, and put the motor direct on the unit, then it'll be flat against the unit. Now while I'm talking about that, I do have a video about this, that maybe I've got anti-vibration dampers on everything including this extruder at the moment, but I'll be taking this one off. But anyway, they do not really reduce sound, not all that much. They might knock down the sound 1 dB, 1 decibel. 1 decibel is, well, quite a bit, but not massive amount. So I'll just show you that. You might see the angle there. Can I get the angle? So I'm going to take this anti-vibration damping thing off, okay, and I'll put the stepper motor back on. I'm going to see, because this belt was turning round here, and I've changed the wheel. I managed to print out the wheel, 100% this is printed at, and it was still slipping. So here is the anti-vibration sort of unit, I'm going to call it, bracket type thing, on the stepper motor. You see it's 2 plates basically with a hard rubber sandwiched between them. That's supposed to reduce vibration. I found no real advantage actually looking at this now. I found a definite disadvantage putting this on, because this rubber, even though, see, I can't, it's really hard, I can't press it down there. But once the power of the belt is pulling on this sort of idler wheel, this pinion wheel here, it's pulling it over, and presumably this rubber is compressing on one side, like expanding on the other. So I'll finish off taking this anti-vibration bracket off this stepper, and as I say, I'll fasten that stepper direct to this unit. This is the unit before I do some modifications to it. As I say, I'm going to put like a plastic plate down this side on the update. That will strengthen it, make the base thicker, make it so that this sort of mechanism opens up from the top instead of from the bottom, because sometimes I have known that the idler bearing that's in here that presses against filament will fall out, although it does have a bit of grip on it. Now that's another improvement I've done. Okay, let's get on with this. So there we have, took this anti-vibration bracket off. That's basically what it looks like. 2 metal plates. You can only put 2 screws sort of in. That is threaded there, that side, but this side isn't. Well, on this one. I think there are slightly different ones. I don't know if there's different strengths of this rubber stuff in between. But that's your anti-vibration sort of plate thing there. Got a bit of a bump on there, so beware of that. And a dent in the other side, indent sort of thing. So now it's fitting this stepper back to the extruder without that on. Well, it's just started printing. This bed isn't, you know, too clean. Yeah, it's got bits of old plastic on it. It's borosilicate glass with Elmer's glue stick on, about 20,000 million layers, or I exaggerate there. So now we have to see if the belt starts slipping. I'm going to let this get going a few seconds, then I'm going to focus on the belt. There's definite that the angle of the pinion that I showed you earlier isn't nowhere near as bad as it was. So obviously that rubber is compressing under the tension of the belt, and as the belt turns round, the bumps, the ridges on the belt, the teeth, are sort of compressing the rubber a little bit more, and that's why it's probably slipping. It's probably not the drive belt, which I thought might be wearing out, or the actual belt itself wearing out. Right, I just let this go around a little bit more, then I'm going to focus on the belt. I am watching it now. Seems alright. Probably change the angle a bit so we see the stepper, the pinion a bit more. So it's very awkward for me to get the lighting just right round here. Just a second, move this. So that's probably about the best I can do. I'll let this go for about 5 minutes, then I'll come back. You can, you know, especially if you see the text going around, you can notice if the belt's slipping or not. And watch the big drive wheel and to some extent the pinion. There will be times it might stop and be tracked and such like. So this is an actual print I'm doing, so that's a good test. I'll let this go for 5 minutes, and then I'll probably put the video on fast speed, so to speak, because this is I think it's a 3-4 hour print, this one. Okay, back to normal speed on the video. So far as I know, it's going okay. I haven't noticed it slipping. I have not been watching it all the time. I've hardly been watching it at all, to be honest with you. The print seems to be okay. Let it go around a couple of times and then I'll show you the print. It might be when it's actually doing the retractions like it is there that it might slip a bit after that, but if it was going to slip, that is, but it seems to be going okay. I did, as I think I said, I reprinted this. Even though it was slipping, I can still print some prints reasonable, but that's been playing up a lot of times. And quite often I thought it'd be the nozzle clogging. E3D version 6 genuine, and cleaned out the nozzle, replaced the nozzle, cleaned it out about 5 times, replaced the nozzle, actually physically replaced the nozzle on it, and it was still causing problems, like stopping the print halfway through and things like this, and almost like the filament grinding in the feeding mechanism. I think what's been happening there is slipping, then the nozzle has been actually clogging a bit, then it's slipping more, then it's biting, and then it's grinding the filament. So I am printing out a new one of these. There's going to be differences. This will open up, see that opens up at the bottom to access the filament, well it'll open up at the top, and like stronger body to stop it distorting when you put the stepper in, especially with this belt. It does pull on it quite a bit, as I showed you earlier with the anti-vibration fitting. Let this go just a little bit more and then I'll show you the print just now. Let these letters go around. So that's a classic one where you might notice. Okay. So this is that push plate there that pushes against the filament. About halfway through the print, about 1.5 hours done, just slightly more. 30% infill, BLA. As I say, boric silica glass with Elmer's glue stick. Could do a cleaning off and some more fresh putting on, but been awful lot mucking about with this, trying to solve this problem of print stopping. The print's so long, the printer wouldn't stop, sorry, just a second, the printer wouldn't physically stop, but stop feeding, and I'd come back in and the print head would be, you know, 10 millimeters above the part, and the head would be moving like it is now, but no filament feeding out of it, because it grind up the filament in the opboard. Just show you something else. I'll put this old towel, yes it is an old towel, use it for all sorts of jobs, around this, or stop doing it now. This was rattling. This is my filament feed mechanism. Talk about that there. This was rattling against the side of the printer, annoying sound, so put that towel in there to stop it, and it seems to have stopped now. Don't know why it was doing that, getting some sort of false signal. BLTouch there, still gets a big thumbs up, the BLTouch. Oh, by the way, I put some soundproofing all around in this server cabinet. Talk about the server cabinet here. Like an enclosure for my 3D printer. Does it help with noise? No. Do the anti-vibration bearings help with noise? I have them on X, Y, Z. Anti-vibration, and they don't help with the noise. Not significantly anyway. Don't help reducing the noise. There's my laser unit. I need some safety goggles before I even attempt using that, if I ever get round to using it. My battery's running low on this camera, so I'm going to have to be finishing off this part until I get it charged. Okay, that seems to be going well. Let's show you the display if we can see it. LCD 12864 in its adjustable stand. Okay, I'll finish off there and I'll come back when it's almost nearly finished. I've got one of the side panels off this server cabinet. That's one of the advantages with this server cabinet, is you can take the side panels off, gain access if you need to. I'll talk about this server cabinet down here, playlist. I haven't been watching it. The shadow. I haven't noticed any slippage since I've removed the anti-vibration sort of plate thing. I wouldn't like 100% say yes, but I'm very positive about removing that anti-vibration unit thing, plate, or whatever you want to call it, bracket. I think that was causing me a lot of problems that I've, as I say, I removed the nozzle, I took the old E3D version 6 apart, I've cleaned out the hub board on here numerous times, I've printed out this wheel, even though it was slipping I managed to print out the wheel because it was just gripping enough. And I've done all sorts of things. Checked the wiring, because I wasn't sure if it was the heater going off, so I put a multimeter on the resistor and on the thermostat. Those seemed alright. Shook them about while I was doing it to make sure there wasn't any sort of loose connections, and the resistance seemed okay. So I think the problem of this sort of stopping printing will stop feeding. I've got any wood to touch. Yep. Has been resolved now. I'll come back when this is finished. So this part here is this part up here, but this arm will have to be on the other side because this is going to be like open from the top instead of from the, sorry, it's going to open from the bottom. Well, the hinge is going to be at the bottom, so we'll open at the top. This has the hinge at the top up here and opens this way. So swapping that about, a few other tweaks. I mean, it's been a good feeding mechanism, this. Getting in my own shadows there, generally speaking. Bowden feeding system, or Bowden, or whatever people want to pronounce it. Right, I'm going to finish off there. I'll just show you the display. So it's almost finished. I am using Octoprint, and I did have display progress installed on here, but I removed that because there is an issue with that. Not problems, an issue. I haven't had any issues. I need to look online to see about the issues with that. But I thought that might have been causing a problem, so I removed that, so it's not displaying all the values that I would like. That's okay. I reckon there's 10 more minutes, maybe quarter an hour. I'll come back when it's finished. Well, there we are, it's finished. I can't give you the exact time of that. Well, I could have a look in Octoprint, but I'm not going to bother. It looks okay, so far as I can tell. It's well adhered to the bed. I can't pull that off. So what I normally use is a paint scraper sort of thing, which has the blade filed, corners filed off. Get that under there and tap it with, I use a pair of long nose pliers, a few taps, short, sharp taps, not too hard, and gradually it'll come off. It's normal practice. So I think that has solved the problem. I'm going to do a bigger print just now. Actually, I'm probably going to print out the whole body, main body of this again. I do have the body printed.